As I said in the two previous lessons, before we start dealing with sentences in the past simple tense, I see it essential or important to have some practice first of the past simple verb form. As I said in the two previous lessons, there are two kinds of verbs in past simple. Regular verbs which take ed at the end of the verb, for example, call, called, or irregular verbs which change the internal vowel a, e, I, o, u, or a consonant sometimes already. For example, leave, left. So here we dropped the a and we changed ve to ft. So this is the change that happened to this verb. Today we're going to focus only in the positive form. As I said in the two previous lessons, what we need to learn is just the positive form, because in the negative and in the question we don't have ed for regular verbs. So I called is past simple because we have ed positive. In the negative, if you write I didn't called, it's not correct. Why? Because didn't is enough to show that the verb is in the past simple. So you don't need to write ed. Because when we have didn't, we put just the infinitive. So the correct answer is I didn't call you. If you write I didn't called you, it's not correct. Why? Because ed we have it just in the positive, we don't have it in the negative and in the question. Let's see the question. If you write did you called me yesterday, it's not correct. Why? Because we don't have ed in the past simple in the question. So the correct question is did you call me yesterday? So this is the correct one. Remember that ed we use it just in positive, we don't use it in negative, and we don't use it in the question. Let's practice verb call with all subject pronouns in the past simple. I called, you called, he called, she called, it called, we called, you called, they called. I didn't pronounce it cold. Cold, it means it's the opposite of hot, but I pronounce it cold, cold, not cold, no, cold, cold. Let's continue. Left, I left. The same thing we are going to explain with left. So left is positive, I left. The past of leave, to leave a place, to go from a place. So I left is past simple of leave. So what is the negative? If you write I didn't left, it's not correct. Why? Because left we have it just in the positive form, we don't have it in the negative form, and we don't have it in the question. So the correct sentence in the negative is I didn't leave. I didn't leave. So in the negative the verb must be in the infinitive. And the question, if you write did you left, it's not correct. Why? Because we don't have left in the question. So we have just the infinitive of left is leave. So the correct question, did you leave? You will say to you, why? Because when you write didn't, it means that the verb is in the negative in the past simple. And when you write did, it means that it is a question in the past simple without, you don't need to conjugate the verb in the past, in the negative and in the question. Let's practice verb leave in the past simple. Positive. I left, you left, he left, she left, it left, we left, you left, they left. Call, we saw it, so we are not going to repeat it. Leave, the same. let. So we say let me alone. Let. So I let, you let, he let, she let, it let, we let, you let, they let. Some students may ask the question, what's the difference between present simple let and past simple let? The answer I gave it in the lesson in which we studied verb cat. I told you what's the difference between cat in the present simple and cat in the past simple. The answer is with I, you, we, you, they, there is no change. But the change is just with he, she, it. In present simple we use s. So if you see in a paragraph or in a book he lets with s, it means that the verb is in present simple. And if you see he let without s, some students they say, oh, it's not correct, it should be with s. It should be with s if it is in present simple, but if it is in the past it's without s. This is what you should remember. So the difference between let in present simple and past simple is just in three pronouns: he, she, it. In present simple with s, in past simple without s. Let's practice this verb again. I let, you let, he let, she let, it let, we let, you let, they let. Let's continue. Make. Some students pronounce it mak. It's not mak. Make. In this verb, we are going to change K with D. So I told you the rule is to change the internal vowel. So that's the rule. Okay, 99%. But sometimes, or rarely, we change the consonant. So here one case we change, or two cases we change the consonant. So we are going to change K to D. But students, they pronounce this verb mad. Mad, it means crazy. It's an adjective. It's M-A-D. But this verb is pronounced made. Made, like make, made. I made a mistake, for example. I made breakfast. So I made, you made, he made, she made, it made, we made, you made, they made. Mean. Mean, it means signify. What do you mean? Okay. What does it mean? So this is the verb. So mean, but in the past we pronounce it meant. It's not meant, no, meant. I meant, you meant, he meant, she meant, it meant, we meant, you meant, they meant. Let's go to verb with double E, meet. So as I said before, when we have a verb with double E, we drop one E and add T at the end. So we are going to drop one E, but we have the T. We are not going to add another T, so without adding T. So just we drop E. Met. I met you yesterday. So we say nice to meet you in present. In the past, I met you. I met. You met. He met. She met. It met. We met. You met. They met. Let's go to the next verb. Pay. So this verb, we are going to change Y to ID, but we pronounce it